Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Beaufort Business Banter, where we take a little time every single week getting better acquainted with local business owners and business leaders, plus folks who are spearheading local charities. I'm Will McCullough, and I'm the owner and broker in charge of Century 21 Coastal Town Realty, located at 83 Sam's Point Road. My wife Dina and I have been involved in the local real estate market for about 27 years, and we are the sponsor for this program. My guest today is the amazing Mark Cobb. Mark, thanks for being in here with us today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Will. Appreciate it.
So Mark owns a local business that covers the Low Country and maybe beyond that a little bit, I'm not sure.
Yep.
Last Stand Defense.
That's right.
And we're going to talk a little bit about what that is and what you all offer and what you do. But before we do that, let's get to know you a little bit better. Yeah. How long have you personally lived in and around the Low Country area? So not Beaufort specifically, because I know you're outside of that a little bit, but how long have you been here?
Yeah, so I got here late 2001.
Okay.
The 2001 time frame is when I got here and started off immediately out of service. So I was leaving the Army.
Okay.
And was still on terminal leave, came down here and worked for the local sheriff's office here. In fact, I was sworn in as a police officer on the morning of September 11th, 2001, about an hour before the planes hit.
I did not know that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was literally sworn in and drove up to Columbia to go pick up some uniforms when the first planes hit the tower. So that's how long I've been here.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's a perfect segue into my next question, which is going to be, tell us a little bit about previous job types, which I guess you kind of did, but if you want to elaborate any, you're welcome to.
Yeah, sorry. So again, right out of high school, I knew I did not want to go to college. I knew I was not prepared for that time frame and stuff in my life, so I went straight into the service, which is something I wanted to do, and spent about 5.5, almost 6 years in the service. And again, after that time frame, immediately went into law enforcement, and where I spent about 20 years in law enforcement here in Beaufort County, doing a myriad of jobs. So from that section, I kind of went into my own personal business, which is Last Stand Defense, of course, and just pursuing some hobbies and things that I wanted to do on my own.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Excellent. Well, that's really cool. So you've done a lot of things. You're prior military, prior law enforcement, entrepreneur. There's probably a lot of answers to this question, but just, if you could kind of pick one, what would you say is something that you would consider for yourself, like a secret to success? Something that you feel, is important to you, especially from the, you've got this strong background of military and law enforcement. Somehow you've turned that into something entrepreneurial. I don't know. I guess that's my question. Secret to success.
I'll give you two really quick ones.
Okay.
First one.
I answered one.
Yeah.
We are on the clock. No, that's right.
First one I really learned from the military, and I learned that you're going to get different leaders and different supervisors and stuff with a myriad of ways they teach and way they do things. And instead of sticking with one, I like to take the goods and the bads from each and form my own way, and that really helped me develop a teaching style. Okay. So my teaching style that really helped me out get into teaching this type of stuff was taking goods and bads and learning how to approach people and deal with them from different perspectives. People learn differently from different ways.
Okay.
And being able to draw on that really helped me out as far as being able to expand myself and reach a larger audience, reach a larger crowd, and relate to people on a personal level.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That was my first one. And then my second one, I have to say, is my wife. She really keeps me grounded. She keeps me on track because it's easy for me to steer off and go off into somewhere. So she's really my other key to success.
Excellent. Well, I'll go on to that too then. Yeah. So spouse, kids, pets.
Yeah, got it all. Got it all. My wife and I have been married. Our 15-year anniversary is coming up in a few weeks in August. And then we've got 3 kids, all grown, 18, 19, and 23.
Okay.
About to be 24. We have a nice farm with a ton of animals all over, horses, donkeys, everything you can name it. So we were very well blessed.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's really cool. Those are good answers. So Last Stand Defense. I understand. I'm going to speak as a layman here, and I'll let you correct me and do everything. But essentially, really high quality, professional firearms level training.
That's
Is that it in a nutshell?
In a nutshell, that's exactly right.
So let's take it out of the nutshell now. What do y'all offer? What do you do? Just educate us a little bit.
So we started off as teaching the person, just the individual person on self-defense tactics, on firearms training, situational awareness, being aware, setting up home security plans, things like that. Just the individual preparedness that a lot of people just lack nowadays. Just the mindset, the mentality of bad things can happen. It has been lost in our society, and that's one thing we wanted to bring back. So that's how we started off, and it grew from there. And we noticed there was a lacking of that same mentality in the professional industry.
Okay.
So from there we moved into doing security analysis and training of personnel for corporations, for schools, for hospitals, law enforcement agencies. We've had quite a few different local law enforcement agencies help us teach active shooooter training. There's not a lot of these people that can provide the type of training that we do, so we try and fill that void. And especially with schools, we're seeing the majority of our incidents take place at schools.
Okay.
And so our job was to fill that gap that's there in helping teachers be able to secure their classrooms,
Okay.
teach their kids, things like that. So that's kind of where we've moved on. We have a professional side where we'd go to these business corporations, and we have our personal side where we work with an individual person and the individual shooter.
Okay, so let me try to condense all this down and make sure I get it. So do you still offer personal training?
Absolutely, yeah, we sure do.
And is that basically from the ground up? I mean, a lot of people, their first and only experience, if they have any, with firearms training is, maybe what they need to do to get their concealed carry permit, and that's intro to firearm safety and
That's
some very
right.
fundamental things. So taking it right there, do you offer that?
Absolutely, we sure do.
And even though we no longer necessarily are required to have permits in
Right.
South Carolina, that entry-level training is good, and there's benefits to having that license.
Absolutely.
And then beyond that, from a personal level, there's taking things to more tactical and training levels,
Sure.
like securing your home and
Yeah.
self-defense and how to use it. So you have a whole sliding scale of classes to the individual,
Correct.
From very beginning to much more advanced training, and then you do the same thing professionally, as you explained, which I won't even attempt to.
No,
reiterate,
absolutely.
but all the above. That's
Yeah,
it.
you're exactly right. So again, we offer all those courses that fill that void. So you can go as high up and far up as you honestly want
Okay.
to, as far as your personal training, and then you can stop where you need to. But again, we offer all of that for the beginner shooter to the advanced shooter too.
Okay.
So there's always some way to learn, and you know this from your just any myriad you're in. There's always ways to grow and develop,
Yeah.
and this is something that we offer because shooting self-defense is a perishable skill.
And there's a lot of training in this realm that's available, to the consumer. But I've known Mark for a very long time. His background, both in the military and 20 years with the Sheriff's Department. Before doing all of this, he's the real deal. So if you're looking for some type of firearms training, everyone has a right to self-defense, and to best be capable of doing that, it's great to be trained, and you can't get better training than this. And I mean that very genuinely. And I know we're going to have your logo and your contact info and stuff out there. So if somebody's looking for some training like that, or you just have questions about, should I do it, or what's some options, whether it's individual or organizational, professional, as you mentioned, his info's up on the screen. So reach out to Mark and ask him. What else in your realm, Last Stand Defense? I know we talked about a bunch of things.
Yeah.
But is there something top of mind that we kind of, I meant to mention this? Anything else you want to add on it? There's no rush. So.
Yeah. So one thing I'd really like to say is it's not all firearms related. The business is a firearms business, but everyone knows that firearms is not the key to everything. If you only have a hammer in your toolbox, that's the only thing you can do is hit a nail. So it's good to have other types of tools that are out there, and so that's one thing we offer is the option for other tools and other ways to help protect yourself. There's just so many voids that need to be filled with this, not just firearms related. From your college-age daughter that's going to school and staying at the dorm room by herself. Situational awareness, to the professional side, where you as a realtor, you're literally going to meet strangers in abandoned houses. Mm-hmm. That's your job.
Yep.
And so there's so many voids that need to be filled as far as again making sure that you're being safe as an individual contractor, as a professional. So we want to help fill those voids and at least give you the training and give you the option. Whether you never choose to carry a gun in your life, that's completely fine. But at least you have the option.
Mm-hmm. Well, knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
And we all have, our first line of defense is ourself and our situational awareness.
Exactly
and
right.
Covering all that is fantastic.
Exactly
Awesome.
right.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, let's segue that in an impossible manner to the real estate world.
Yeah.
Obviously, so that's what I do. And
Sure.
you've known me since before I did
right.
that, which
That's
goes back
exactly
a long
right.
time.
Yeah.
But throw something at me. What's something I could answer for you as it relates to my world?
Yeah, so earlier I was looking on the website
Yep.
at Century 21 and y'all's office, obviously in Ladies Island.
Yeah.
Now, do y'all only do Ladies Island?
No. Okay, so I'm really glad you asked that. As a matter of fact, it's almost like I may have fed you that question. But anyhow, so no is the answer to that. So every Century 21 office is independently owned and operated, and there is more than just mine here in this local area. Not saying anything bad about them or anything. I'm just saying in general, yeah, there's more than one. We're all independently owned and operated. So our office, we have about a dozen agents right now. We've got 2 more coming aboard here really soon, and more coming on. We've been partnered with Century 21 for a while. We're the owners and broker in charge, and we're headquartered on 83 Sam's Point Road on Ladies Island. But we cover across the area. We've got, I'd have to look, but about 20 active contracts right now going on, and they cover everywhere from Fripp to the Broad River Bridge to out past Yemassee and everywhere in between.
Wow.
So we cover basically all of northern Beaufort County, pushing out past Yemassee, and then all of Jasper County, and stay very active in all of those areas.
Fantastic.
So we've had our own brokerage for about 8 years, and then we partnered with Century 21 just about a year ago because they offered so much tools and training,
Sure.
both to help us better benefit the consumer and better benefit our agents. I was 20-something years in the industry, and when they came in and said, hey, do you want to do this? At first I was like, nah, we're happy, independent.
Yeah.
And they started showing me all the stuff they have. It's amazing. So to go back to your question, which thank you again for that one, we're located at 83 Sam's Point Road. That's where our office is located, but we cover the entire area of northern Beaufort County and all of Jasper. So
fantastic.
Awesome. Well, heck, I think that's all I've got. Any further, it's not a quiz or anything.
No,
it's okay.
yeah.
Any stones left unturned?
I think we did it all. Appreciate
Excellent.
it.
Okay, we weren't going to mention this, but I'm going to say one more thing.
Yeah.
There's an entity, Black Sky Leather Company,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
I know you and I think your bride are both involved in this.
That's
and
right.
do some amazing custom leather work. Google it. The stuff they do is amazing. But Last Stand Defense, also equally amazing. And that is a wrap.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Mark.
Appreciate you, Will.
it.
Appreciate you for having me.
There you go. We're done.